He emerged from the highlands, a whisper of rebellion on the wind. William Wallace, a name whispered in fear and hope, a phantom in the mist, a symbol of defiance against the iron fist of English rule. His past shrouded in mystery, his future a tempest of uncertainty. But one thing was clear: he would fight for Scotland's freedom or die trying. Little is known of Wallace's early life. Some say he was a simple farmer, driven to violence by the cruelty of English soldiers. Others whisper of a noble lineage, hidden to protect him from his enemies. Whatever his origins, Wallace was a man of the people, a leader who rose from the ashes of despair to ignite the flame of rebellion. His eyes, they say, held the fire of 1,000 suns, burning with an unquenchable thirst for justice. His voice, a low growl, could stir the blood of even the most disheartened Scotsman. And his sword, a shining beacon of hope, cut down any who dared stand in his way. The year was 1296. The land of Scotland, once proud and free, groaned under the heel of English tyranny. King Edward Longshanks, a monarch consumed by ambition, had cast a covetous eye upon Scotland's throne. His armies, ruthless and efficient, had swept across the lowlands, crushing all resistance. Castles fell, towns burned, and the cries of the innocent echoed through the glens. Darkness had descended upon Scotland, a darkness as thick and suffocating as the smoke that billowed from burning villages. Fear stalked the land, whispering in the shadows, poisoning the hearts of men. Many Scots, broken and defeated, accepted their fate. They bowed their heads to their new masters, hoping for a measure of peace in servitude. But not William Wallace. He saw the suffering of his people, felt their pain as his own. He witnessed the arrogance of the English, their disdain for the Scots, and he vowed to make them pay. The time for mourning was over, the time for vengeance had come. The rebellion began with a whisper, a spark of defiance in the darkness. Then it erupted, a roar of fury that shook the very foundations of English power. William Wallace, the Lion of Scotland, had unleashed his wrath. His first act of defiance was swift and brutal. A group of English soldiers, drunk on power and ale, met their end in a Lanark alleyway. It was a message, delivered in blood. Scotland would not yield easily. The English, initially dismissive, soon found themselves facing a force unlike any they had encountered before. Wallace was no ordinary rebel leader. He was a master of guerrilla warfare, using the rugged terrain of his homeland to his advantage. He would appear as if from nowhere, strike with lightning speed, and vanish into the mist before the enemy could react. From the highlands to the lowlands, the name William Wallace became a rallying cry. Men tired of oppression flocked to his banner. Farmers, blacksmiths, shepherds, all united in their common hatred for the English. Wallace drilled them, molded them into a formidable fighting force, fueled by righteous fury. Victory followed victory. At Stirling Bridge, Wallace's forces, vastly outnumbered, routed an English army, sending shockwaves through the ranks of Edward's forces. It was a testament to Wallace's strategic brilliance, his ability to exploit the arrogance of his enemy. The Battle of Stirling Bridge was a turning point in the war. It showed the English that their hold on Scotland was tenuous, that the spirit of the Scottish people was not easily broken. Most importantly, it gave hope to those who had thought all was lost. But even as victory seemed within grasp, betrayal lurked in the shadows. The Scottish nobility, their loyalty as fickle as the Highland winds, began to plot amongst themselves. Jealous of Wallace's growing power, they saw him as a threat to their own ambitions. The whispers began, subtle at first, then growing louder. Wallace, they murmured, was too ambitious, too reckless. He would lead Scotland to ruin. They sought to undermine him, to clip his wings before he could fly too high. Unbeknownst to Wallace, a trap was being laid, a betrayal so deep and treacherous it would shatter his dreams of freedom and plunge Scotland back into despair. The Battle of Falkirk, a desolate moor stained red with the blood of patriots, marked the beginning of William Wallace's downfall. The Scottish nobles, their promises as empty as their hearts, abandoned Wallace on the battlefield, leaving his forces vulnerable to the full might of the English army. Despite fighting with unmatched courage, Wallace's forces were overwhelmed. He witnessed the slaughter of his comrades, felt the sting of defeat pierce his soul. The dream of a free Scotland, so close he could almost taste it, slipped through his fingers like water. Forced into hiding, Wallace became a hunted man. A price was placed on his head, a king's ransom for the capture of the rebel leader. He became a phantom once more, moving through the shadows, always one step ahead of his pursuers. But even the most cunning fox can be outwitted. In August 1305, William Wallace was betrayed, captured by Scottish nobles loyal to Edward I. He was transported to London, a trophy of war paraded through the streets like a common criminal. The English, eager to make an example of him, spared no cruelty in his execution. He was hanged, drawn and quartered, his body displayed as a warning to any who dared defy English rule. His death, a public spectacle of barbarity, sent shockwaves through Scotland. But William Wallace was more than just a man. He was an idea, a symbol of Scotland's indomitable spirit. His death, far from extinguishing the flames of rebellion, only served to fan them higher. The legend of William Wallace, the warrior who defied a king, lived on, whispered around hearth fires, passed down from generation to generation. He became a martyr, his name synonymous with courage, freedom and resistance. The memory of his sacrifice fueled the fires of Scottish nationalism for centuries to come. Though William Wallace's fight for Scottish independence ended in tragedy, his legacy continues to inspire. He showed the world that even the most powerful empires could be challenged, that the human spirit could not be extinguished by brute force. Today, William Wallace is remembered as one of Scotland's greatest heroes. His story is a reminder that freedom is not free, that it must be fought for and defended by each generation. His name, forever etched in the annals of history, serves as a beacon of hope for those who struggle against oppression, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit.